This woman in business needs absolutely no introduction. A friend of mine for decades, an admired woman in El Paso for decades, Estella Casas. Estella, nice
Thank
to
you so
see
much for having me.
Oh, I love you being here, and I love you. She is the creative brand manager of the Viva Auto Group. 17 dealerships?
Yes.
Okay.
In El Paso, Las Cruces, Albuquerque, and Santa Fe.
Wonderful. Okay, and let's talk, of course, about where you got most famous, which was the newsroom. Now, I think
Yes.
we've all seen Anchorman. We've seen Ron Burgundy and the gang complaining, oh no, not a woman on the news. Was that sort of what it was like?
It was. When I started part-time at Channel 9 many decades ago, right? Well, I was still going to school. And then I switched over to Spanish language, KINT. I was one of the founding journalists there. And then went over to Channel 4 before I got my real start. And when I went over to Channel 4, I know exactly why I was taken there. Woman, Hispanic, young. I don't want to call myself a token, but I kind of was, and that's how it was. And when I realized that, you just have to embrace it and rise above it. I remember that I was not allowed to read the top story.
Can you even imagine that?
I couldn't read the top story until we got a new news director, and he said, that's crazy. You're going to read the top story if need be, or when need be. But I wasn't allowed to read the top story. And as a woman, as an Hispanic woman who is fully bilingual, I came on and I said, well, good evening, everyone. I'm Estella Casas. So the phones lit up and said, can't she pronounce her name correctly? You know, and you know what I think about
pioneer.
that? A pioneer, and they would probably not do that to an Hispanic man. So there were a lot of challenges, and as a working mother, it's hard. As a working woman, it's hard. As a working mother, it's probably even harder, because I really believed in being with my kids and reading the bedtime story and nursing and you know, just a lot of challenges that women face. But I was given the opportunity to do all those things.
You want to know what I respect the most about you, and I have a long list of things why I completely admire you as well. We worked together at Channel 7. We were the primetime team, and you had not finished your college degree yet, and it drove you crazy, as though you weren't accomplished enough. You wanted to do it, and you did it while working. How?
Because I didn't have that degree, and a lot of people around me had that degree, I worked harder, and I felt less than everyone else. So I had to work harder and make a bigger difference than everybody else because of that little paper. But it took me 25 years to earn my degree. I started as a voice performance major at Arizona State University, got a four-year scholarship that I gave up after a semester, came home and started working behind the scenes in TV production. So I thought I was going to wind up behind the camera. But then my singing career kept going on, and I realized and I found myself in front of the camera, and that's where I wanted to be. And so all this time, I moved quickly, became one of the founding journalists at Channel 26. So I already had 60, 70 credit hours. So it's not like I started from scratch. But it took me forever. And I really do have to thank Kevin Lovell from KVIA, who just recently retired. He kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. He said, you've got to get that degree. And after 25 years, in 2005, I earned my degree. 2 of my children finished their school, their degree in 4 years. I told them, you're not going to follow your mom's footsteps, so you better finish. So they finished in 4 years. One has a doctorate, and my daughter has an MHA and an MBA. So now the third one's coming up, and he's already been told, you got to get your degree in 4 years. Don't follow your mother's example.
Estella, one last question.
Okay.
I mean, what do you even say to somebody, a mom, who's just as deep into it? She's got a job, she's got the kids, she wants to do it all and keep a smile. But how do you keep smiling with all that? I couldn't do that.
I think it comes in my makeup. I am a spiritual woman. I love deeply. I am fully invested in everything that I do, because I'm not just going to show up and take up space. I'm going to show up and make a difference and leave a mark. And the way you do that is in faith in God, because He's the one who guides me.
Amen.
And for the family. And my community has been fantastic, so I have to give back. I have to give back.
This community loves you.
Well, thank you. I love
Thank
you
you so
guys. I
much.
love you guys, and thank you for the opportunity.
Segment sponsored by Viva Auto Group.
That was just 5 stories of dynamic, trend-setting women in business, and the Borderland has many. To each and every one, Studio 9 salutes you. Thank you for watching Studio 9. Until next time, keep smiling, keep shining, El Paso.